what I want is for every person who voted for this man, every Christian who supported him, every Christian who did not vocally oppose him, I want them to sit down and watch this speech
Mm,
from start to finish and own it.
mm.
That's what I felt watching it. So I'll turn it over to you, Robbie. What you can
No,
you can fill in on some of the specifics, but that's what I felt watching it.
I think that's right. I was feeling you articulated it, I think, much more clearly, but I identify with that so much because I was thinking, yeah, I mean, so he cursed through the whole thing. He was just
Mm.
crass, flippant, just a couple of like weird highlights of, I mean, essentially, said at one point that he was kind of unfamiliar with the practice of even saying grace before meals,
Wow.
and that he was surprised when Speaker Johnson wanted to say a prayer before a meal together, like as if that was an unfamiliar, practice for him. And he even said, like Robert Jeffries, who was again First Baptist Dallas, the one of the early people to support Trump, he kind of went back and rehearsed all of this way back when. He was just all over the map. But even just saying, he's quoting, he's sort of fake quoting Jeffries here. He's kind of saying what he thought Jeffries said. He said, "Oh, Trump may not have even ever read the Bible." Uh, but he'll be a much stronger messenger for us than anybody else. And Trump's not disputing the fact that he's never read the Bible. He's not disputing that he was like not even familiar with the very practice of like saying prayer, saying a prayer before a meal. So just outwardly flaunting, right? The fact that he just like is so flippant and doesn't really care about, any of these kind of Christian practices or our beliefs or scripture or any of the things that evangelicals supposedly hold dear. And yet, exactly what you're saying. So, what about this man like would be appealing to him other than just like this very, meeting Trump on his own terms, which is a very quid pro quo, instrumentalist, utilitarian. We'll just support you because you're going to give us what we want, and we'll in return give you what you want. And that's about the height of the morality. I studied political ethics in my PhD program, and man, I mean, you can't even put that on a map anywhere, right? I mean,
No,
it's just
no.
pure, power exchange. I
Yeah.
mean, there's not even a pretense of anything you might call a political ethic left anymore.
And it's a bit of
Religion
a
is hot right now. Religion is hot, and it's all thanks to Trump. So that's as as
Yeah.
far
Well,
as
I'm
things.
glad that he reminded us that he brought back from the brink of extinction the word Christmas
Oh,
at one
oh
point, of course.
boy, we were right on a razor's edge there.
Yeah. Right.
We could have
Right.
lost that in
Yeah.
2026. It's a
Yeah.
bit of a self-own because as a Christian, you don't need to claim the candidate you favor represents your religious beliefs. Like you don't have to do that. You could
Yeah.
just say we like his policies, or we don't like the way he talks, but we likes what he gets done, which some have said. But to claim that he represents Christianity is pointless and only makes you look foolish in the biblical sense between wisdom and foolishness, right? Where someone who clearly doesn't exhibit the fruit of the Spirit, someone who clearly isn't maturing in the faith, because early on, 10 years ago, it was, oh, he's a baby Christian, he's just learning.
Right. Right.
Well, after 10 years, you would expect some growth.
he's
Um,
a big baby Christian
he's a
now.
very big baby now.
Maybe even a
And
regressing baby Christian, right?
right. And to cling to this fantasy, this fever dream that he's somehow a Christian is obviously false on its face from it, at least the fruit, but you don't even have to do it. It's politically pointless at this point. It just so I don't know why. And I think that's really a powerful indictment, Kristen. Like you should have to sit down and
Mhm.
sit through this
Yeah.
and say what of this beliefs, what of your beliefs this represents.
Yeah.
And take responsibility. Take responsibility for what you have done to our country.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going back to like, the only thing I felt I could even muster the energy to write in the aftermath of the last presidential election was one piece I wrote for Time
That's right.
magazine, and I just titled it "What White Christians Have Wrought," like that old word WROUGHT, wrought. And that's about all I felt like I had to say. Because all the other pundits were picking apart, oh, like this group moved this many points and this group moved that many points. And it was all about like the groups that moved toward Trump. And, that's interesting in its own way is just kind of straight up analysis. But at the end of the day, the reason he was sitting in the White House is because white Christians put him there. Like, and period. The rest of that was around the edges of things. And just remembering that's who's responsible, are white Christians in the country, and not just evangelicals. Let me remind everybody, 85% of white evangelicals, but also 6 in 10 white non-evangelical mainline Protestants and 6 in 10 white Catholics pulled the lever for Trump every time he's been on the ballot.